Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose, sort of, for Thursday, August 18th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brightwood. We have great television archives top of the page, eye candy along the bottom, Sexually Speaking with Dr. Kathy Naughton below that, and our rock and roll poll question over in the corner. I'm not going to lie to you, we are recording this on Wednesday because immediately after the show, I am heading out for Chicago, the Cubs-Cardinal weekend, and I need the camera for stuff. So I gotta record something early. So this is just sort of a little bit of a cheater to let you know that we'll be back with the Daily Dose and all the regular features and everything on Monday here at jcontheline.com. Now, for those of you who are watching this and are on your way to Chicago, or maybe you're planning a trip to Chicago sometime in the foreseeable future, we ran something on JC's Eye Candy a couple of weeks ago that is in the archives. You just got to go down there and punch around and you'll see it. It's actually a newspaper clipping out of the Chicago Tribune. And what they did is they said, people come to Chicago all the time and they get a car and they're driving around, they see the same old touristy stuff. But so many movies, particularly memorable John Hughes movies, were filmed in Chicago. Stuff like Home Alone and Uncle Buck and stuff like that. 16 Candles. Why don't we find some of those locations and list them? So that's what they did. So we printed that for you, and it's in the archives right below here on JC's Eye Candy. And you get the home that Macaulay Culkin lived in Home Alone. You get the family home in Uncle Buck, the high school in The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the high school there too, the beach scene, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, also 16 Campbell's, the church in Glencoe, that's way north of the city. Also the Cameron's house, which is, where is that? Cameron's house is in Highland Park, that's pretty up there too, along the North Shore in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 16 Candles, that's in Winnetka, that's not that far up north. And then the school in Uncle Buck, so that's all listed. So for those of you who go up to Chicago all the time, just want to do something a little different, I don't think they chase you out of the neighborhood if you try to have a picture taken or something in front of Macaulay Culkin's house in Home Alone. I believe the house is for sale now, too. The last I heard it was, so maybe it's even less of a problem up there. Now, restaurants. Everybody always says, well, JC, what are the really good places to eat? And I always say, I would tell you, but every time I do that, then I try to get a table there, and I can't because everybody who's in town for the Cubs-Cardinal weekends is in that restaurant, and I'm standing out on the street with them telling me, I'm sorry, we have no room. So I'm not going to be in Chicago that long this weekend. I got some family stuff to take care of, and I have some other places I'm going to go. So I'm going to tell you right now, no trip to Chicago for me is complete unless you go to Shaw's Crab House. Now that's on Hubbard, which is just on, it's in the Loop, and it's just a couple of blocks off Michigan Avenue. It's sort of at the, I guess you would say at the south end of the Loop in Chicago, just off the river. And you just walk over there and you go in, and there's a restaurant which is sort of difficult to get into, but then they have like it's like a bar restaurant on the other side, and they have live blues music in there on the weekends. And the other nice thing about that is that it's much easier to get into, and it's a much more casual environment. It's very, very much reminds me of like a restaurant bar that you might find in the Bahamas, or like something like in the Florida Keys especially. That's what it's really like. And this is a seafood place, so if you don't like seafood, there's no point in going there if you're allergic or something like that. But you get really, really good fresh seafood. They have the gumbo at Shaw's Crab House is some of the best in the world, I think. It's fabulous. They got all these beers and drinks and just great seafood, as I said. Garlic toast that is to die for. It's a great place. Again, Shaw's Crab House. It's on Hubbard. All right, now, Bistro 110 is, I have to tell you, it's a little pricey, particularly when it comes to buying wine. And I don't know that this restaurant has it as together as they did maybe 5 or 10 years ago, but it's still not bad, and it's real convenient because it's only a half a block off Michigan Avenue, right around the corner from the water tower. So you can go there, and that's Bistro 110, and that's basically like wood-grilled meat and vegetables and chicken and stuff like that. They'll put like a half a chicken and all these vegetables and everything on a plank, and then they slide it into one of those brick ovens where they burn the wood inside, so you get that sort of wood taste to the whole thing, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You might want to bring some money because it's a little pricey. It's sort of semi-French in its influence, so you got that. But if you want just a fat, and then Kinsey Steakhouse is also very, very good. And that's really smacks of old world. You feel like you're going to look over and Al Capone is going to be sitting next to you. And that's under the elevated tracks, sort of in the area where Ditka's is and stuff like that. Now, here's the place to eat. Because everybody goes up there for pizza, and that's great. You go to Giordano's and Pizzeria Due, Pizzeria Uno, and places like that. Giordano's, though, probably the place to go if you're going to get, authentic Chicago-style stuffed pizza and stuff like that. But here's the place to go. Here is the place to go. And it's not pricey. That's the other nice thing about it. And it's very, very casual. You don't have to worry about anything. Go walking in and, a wife beater if you want. Well, maybe not. Portillo's. Portillo''. Portillo's. There's like 30 of them around the Chicagoland area. But there's one in the Loop, and it's over by where Carson's Ribs is. The Loop. Is that Ohio? I think it's off Ohio. Portillo's. The best Chicago-style Italian roast beef sandwiches in the land, including the seasoned green peppers that they put on and the seasoning with the roast beef. They also have outstanding Chicago dogs, outstanding ribs. And if you're into desserts, you're in a lot of trouble. Don't even look at the scale when you get back, because they're like a chocolate cake for dessert. And I don't even really eat that stuff because I don't need the calories, but you have 1 or 2 bites of that stuff, and you're just like, oh my God, how do they do this? So again, they're all over the Chicago area. There's one in my old neighborhood at Harlem and Archer. So if you're like on the way back down 55 and you realize, we should have eaten before we left, and you get, you're like half hour on the road back to St. Louis, and you get to Harlem Avenue. Get off on Harlem Avenue, make a left, which has you now heading south. It's only a short drive to Archer Avenue, and right at the corner there at Archer and Harlem, there's one. And then you just zip back, get on the Stevenson Expressway, which is 55, and you're on your way back home, and your belly's full, and it's just fantastic. But remember that name, Portillo's. There was a time when I still had money. Nobody has any money anymore. But at the time I had money, I was trying to convince these people to let us franchise one of these in St. Louis because, I'd weigh 350 pounds. And that's only in the first year. So remember that, Portillo's. All right, we gave you some good stuff for the weekend up in Chicago. Those of you not going, I'm sorry. But we'll be back here with all sorts of regularity and all back to our normal stuff on Monday here on the Daily Dose. All right, that's it. Don't forget to check out our eye candy features. Don't forget to check out our great television archives at the top of the page, our rock and roll poll question, and, of course, we archive everything. That's it, a special edition of the Daily Dose for Thursday, August 18th, 2011. We'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.